Thanks for joining us here at KEXP. You can find us at 90.3 FM in Seattle and 92.7 in the Bay Area, streaming worldwide at kexp.org and also on KEXP's mobile apps. I'm Cheryl Waters, and I am so excited to be down here in the KEXP studios with Health. They have a new album came out in December called Rat Wars, and I think you're going to mix it up for us today and play a melange of music. I'm so excited. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
You're listening to Health live on KEXP.
pretended to feel like you. I pretended to be like you. I pretended to feel like you.
You're listening to Health live on KEXP, the newest album called Rat Wars, out on Loma Vista Records.
Don't feel my first to get away.
Love it. We're live in the KEXP studios with Health.
I know I shouldn't have come here, but I got nowhere to go. I know I shouldn't call after dark anymore, but I got no one in this world. but I got no way to go on. I know I'm too young to die, but I'm old enough now. No one in this world can change. You can't change for me. I can't look into things.
I loved that. I am so pumped to have Health joining us live here in the KEXP studios today. Thank you so much for that performance.
I hope it was okay. Thank you guys.
I think it sounded great. How did it feel to you?
Oh, this is always a different environment to do things in, so it's hard not to get in your own head, but it sounds good in here.
It does, and it's always weird to do it live. People even who've played for decades on massive stadium stages and festivals say live radio just makes you feel nervous. It's got that magic to it, though, and I feel like the performances are just extra special, so we appreciate you doing this today. Yeah, I think it sounded great. And your new album, Rat Wars, and you played a couple of songs from that today, and I'm so excited to that new album coming out in December. I haven't been able to stop playing it. And your two previous albums, Disco 4 Parts 1 and 2, were collaborative efforts, a little different from things. You worked with other artists and you've had guests on your album before, but this was a huge group of artists over 2 albums that you collaborated with on songs. And I'm curious how working with a bunch of different people with different working styles and personalities made an impact or affected Rat Wars when you got back together just as this group with a few guests to make this record. Did working in that format over so many songs have an impact?
I think unquestionably there's kind of no way to do that volume of songwriting and have it not carry over and be influential on what you're going to do right after that. And I think that at least we didn't know we were going to do 2 records worth, but obviously the pandemic made it difficult to approach music in the same way as far as touring. At least for myself, the best thing about doing the collaborative songs is that it gets you out of any preconceived ideas you might have about what kind of songs you want to write. You can't be like, I want to write a banger or a fast song or whatever. It's just about finding a way to aesthetically bridge the 2 sound palettes of the artist. So you kind of drop any mandates and it makes it much more organic. And I think that we just tried to carry that over into making the next record rather than worrying about what kind of songs we had. We just were more open-minded. And that was probably the best effect that it had on us writing-wise.
It must have been fun to create music together again after having a period where I imagine that you were apart and weren't able to see each other and just a lot going on in life, but feeling so isolated at the same time. Was it sort of an exhilarating feeling, which is a weird adjective to use since it is such a dark record, but you can have a dark atmosphere to something and also have an exhilarated feeling at the same time.
I mean, I think all of it for so many people coming back to being able to play music together in the same room, whether or not you're rehearsing, writing, or performing on stage. There was a period of time where we didn't really know if we'd be doing that again, especially at our level, I think that bands that play club shows and sort of halls, that was a very unknown, like very large question mark. So yeah, there was times on the collaborative records where we would each send each other, like Beach would send us a drum part, and then John would send like a structure edit, and then I'm sending vocals, and we're all in Los Angeles together, and we couldn't be in the same room. So yeah, being able to do this and do any of this again just feels like a refreshing gift, I think, ultimately.
Well, you've said that this is your bleakest and darkest record, which is saying a lot because I think that all your records can be described that way in some context. And you even at one point talked about calling it Outer Dark after the Cormac McCarthy novel, which is also very dark. And I'm wondering what you think led you to this darker, heavier material. You've also said that it is a little bit more of an I album than a we album. So putting those two ideas together, what created this atmosphere for you?
Well, I mean, there's some obvious things that I think everybody experienced. And we've also been always we think about our music very visually in terms of almost like a mood board visual palette, and have always thought of it as analogous to like a dystopian landscape. And I think we just kept doing it long enough that the world just caught up to that and became a dystopian landscape. So that's probably part of it. Obviously, there's a lot of things in the last couple of years that have been very difficult for everybody, and that's just reflected in the music. And then as far as the I versus we, as a lyricist, it maybe took me longer to become comfortable to write a little bit more personally. And so that confluence of things just happened to converge at this point. And ultimately, I don't think it's strange that, at least to how I listen to music, that can tend to resonate with the listener more because it feels more personal. So maybe that's a good thing. It just took me a long time to be comfortable with that.
Well, and also you became a dad in early January 2020, which is a big change in your life. And I definitely feel the imagery of children throughout this album, just right out of the gate with Demigods, and then there's Children of Sorrow. I'm thinking, was that your stream of consciousness, you think, bubbling to the surface on these lyrics?
The record is definitely much more lyrically stream of consciousness. Like a lot of times, I think a lot of writers have a tendency to, you have certain vowel sounds or rhythmic things that you have as a go-to that are more comfortable for you as a singer. And then a lot of times you end up revamping that to feel like it has a cohesive lyrical message. And I did that a lot less on this record. So Demigods, for example, there's all this child-like related tragic imagery that I couldn't really directly, nor would I want to, explicitly unpack. So yeah, it is very stream of consciousness. But I think having a infant, being trapped in a house with an infant during a global lockdown will certainly sublimate lyrically. You don't have to be Freud to sort of figure that out. So yeah, there's a lot of that kind of peeking out of it.
Well, congratulations on the new addition to your family. I imagine that having a small one at home probably changes your schedule a little bit, making music and playing with the band.
I don't have any hobbies. I don't have any time for anything. I just work on the band and then parent. And definitely of the schedule that we're on now, we're on like bus schedule, go to bed at 4 a.m. So when I get home in a couple days, it'll be up at 7 a.m. with him, and he's not going to really understand if I'm trying to explain to him that I need to take a nap. So yeah, the two worlds are hyper contrasted.
But hopefully you're enjoying it. And you're a band that has a remix album for pretty much every Health record. And unlike the Disco 4 record, which were collaborations, when there are remixes, how involved is the band in that? Because you've obviously had so many of your songs remixed. And do you get very involved in choosing the bands? And is that collaborative in any way? Or do you just hand those over and you just kind of wait and see what the artist does, giving them free rein?
So we're intimately involved with any selection. But once we've asked someone to do a remix and they've agreed, we try to stay as hands-off as possible so that they can have the latitude to express themselves creatively. That's part of the selection process, is that you are a fan of their work, and so you want to let them be able to do whatever they want to do. That being said, yeah, we might give mild notes or suggestions. But the idea going forward is that the collaborative albums have supplanted the remix albums. So, because we didn't want to feel like it was obligatory and not artistically valid, like, oh, we always do a remix album. And obviously musical culture is always changing, and we've been doing it for a long time. So we didn't want to have any diminishing returns of what we felt was coming back from remixes. So we started exploring the idea of the collaborative songs. And I think that that's an even more direct way to engage with another artist. So that's been more exciting for us. So that, I think, is the roadmap going forward.
Well, I'm excited to see what comes next. I appreciate you taking the time to come by, all of you, today. It's been so wonderful to have you performing these songs for our audience.
Thank you so much for having us. I'm actually a Seattle native. I grew up here. My dad used to live on Aloha right up the street. He worked at American Passage, which was right next to the Tower Records. So I grew up skateboarding down right by this station. So it's very meaningful for me.
Oh my goodness. Well, welcome home. We're going to move your music to the local music library now.
There you go.
It's Health, a local band here in the KEXP studios. Thank you so much. That was just such an incredible performance.
Thank you for having us.
The new album is called Rat Wars, and thank you to all of our wonderful listeners and viewers for helping to make sessions like this possible. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll get notification every time we launch a new video, and we are listener-powered. That means we're powered by you, and you can learn more about us at KEXP.org, and feel free to make a gift anytime in support of discovery of great new music. And again, thank you to Health for this wonderful session here on KEXP, where the music matters. Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.